Am I living? Oh, what a funny thing to say. But your mama always said, look up into the sky, find the sun on a cloudy day.
I don't know what you're measuring.
Seeing which one was the longest table.
I like it. Hello for your Monday morning and welcome to another episode of Livin' Podcast with Nancy Timpano.
And Vince Fusco. Nance.
So exciting. We are in our kind of daggy clothes at the moment.
Thanks very much.
Well, not daggy, but compared to tonight.
We're going to be glitzed and glammed.
We are currently bumping in for tonight's event, which is the longest table, the G Fresh Fork Cancer, thanks to Adelaide. Let's do it.
Absolutely. We are down here at Sunnybray Estate here in Adelaide tonight. Like you mentioned, G Fresh and Adelaide have come together. They do it every year. They put on this amazing
It's been
fork.
11 years that the longest table
has
been running their events where you can host or attend an event. 11 years.
Fantastic. Well, we're thrilled that this is our first event with the longest table, that we are here doing our on-site recording of Livin' Podcast. This place it looks absolutely stunning. We will show you some footage. I'll cut to it in a little bit. But we've got 400 beautifully set places
I think
here.
there's close to 500 almost now. I think we're almost at 5.
We've got some of the most incredible suppliers in Adelaide are here setting up right now. You've got Louise from Style Nest, Teresa from Angelic Blossom. She's one of our fans.
Oh, she is.
She's such a dream.
Oh, absolutely. And Louise shared a beautiful story with us earlier, which probably throughout today's episode you will hear about.
I think you definitely have to share that.
It's hilarious. But do you know what I love mentioning these ladies right now as we're setting up? Because it's all the behind the scenes hard work. Yes, it's going to be a fantastic event. Everyone's going to rock up looking their finest. Hopefully we'll look a bit snazzier than we do right now. But it's all the hard work and preparation that goes into these events that really warms our hearts and makes us want to give back and give our time as well.
Absolutely. It's always for such a good cause. We mentioned Adelaide, who are one of the hosts tonight with G Fresh. We've done a few things with them now. We did the Save Our Shed event earlier this year for Big Shed Brewing, and it's again one of those opportunities for us to come and support great South Australians, South Australian businesses, but not just South Australian business, South Australians in our community. Tonight we're here to fork cancer. We're raising money for cancer research, and it's such a wonderful event for us to be part of. One of the things that we wanted to talk about today's topic is, what have you overcome?
That is today's topic. What have you had to overcome? And yes, tonight, considering, the event that we're going to be at, yes, it could be a health concern, it could be even be cancer, but it could be anything.
It could be
what obstacle?
Oh, it could be doing the obstacle course True Grit. You know what I mean? It could be putting your mind to that and overcoming that challenge.
Some people, it could be the fact of just getting up and getting on with your day, because there's a lot of mental health issues out there at the moment. The world, the way it is, and it's not as easy as it used to be. So it could be absolutely anything. So we'll be hopefully grabbing some guests that are here tonight to tell us their story. And I think maybe we'll cut to Louise's story just quickly now from Style Nest and just mention that Louise came up to us when we came in, and obviously, Vince, Louise from
I know Louise
MC.
throughout. That's right, through the industry. We see each other quite a bit. Actually, not enough. I want to say not enough.
I know.
Which is one of the things, it's never enough. But I've seen her more recently than you, we found out.
Well, she came up to me and she said, oh my gosh, I remember meeting you, and I thought, here comes the story that we crossed at an event, maybe a week ago,
2 years ago,
1 year ago. But no, Louise, I helped her overcome something, because apparently when Louise was 11, I don't know how old she is now, but I think it's, looking way back. When Louise was only 11 years old, we were both doing a fashion parade together in Rundle Mall, okay? Now, she has just brought this back to my memory bank, and she said that she was backstage at 11 years old, and there's all the models backstage stripping off as quick as they can, quick changes, out you go, as you do.
As you do.
In the modelling world, and I was one of the older models, and apparently me and another male model, we were like the mum and dad, and we had these little kids that were parading with us. So Louise, being one of the little kids, as she was getting undressed, and then there was men in their G-strings in the corner quickly stripping off, she said she will never forget to this day. This is how she remembers me, standing in front of her, guarding her and saying, you don't need to see this. Something like that, she said to me. And I said,
protecting
what?
her.
I was protecting her. And apparently her mum, still talks about it and appreciates the fact that I was looking out for her little one. But can you believe, I think it would have to be at least 30 years ago.
See?
It would have to be.
The thing that I love about this story, not only one that you've not heard,
Never knew that.
but you heard it today for the first time, firsthand from Louise, which was beautiful.
Yeah.
But I think it just proves that point, that it doesn't matter how you or what you say or what you do to people, it's how you make them feel.
Yes.
And you made her feel safe in that moment. You've made her mum feel confident and comfortable, that her little girl's backstage.
Yeah.
Look at you. That's a beautiful thing, Nance.
Oh, I just didn't know that. I did ask her as well. I said, Louise, if we had to be in a dressing room now and there was men in the corner in G-strings, what would you do? She goes, I'd be the first one having a look. No.
A little bit different now. Wind the clock forward.
No. I'm just saying, like, wow. So, she overcame her fear of being in a change room with all the adults at the same time. It can be quite overwhelming as a youngster performing behind the scenes. It is overwhelming. So, yeah, fun fact that I had to share.
I love it. Well, I thought I would kick off as well with one of my things that I've overcome. I've overcome the fear of going out on my own and working for myself. I realised yesterday, Nance, that it's been 12 months since I resigned from my position as head of digital at one of Adelaide's biggest and best digital agencies.
Yep.
After 9 years of leading the team there last year, I made the call. I said, no, it's time for me now.
Yeah.
And I did that, and it only really snuck up on me last night. I was reflecting on it. You might have seen my Instagram post.
I did.
But you know what? It's that fear of the unknown and the fear of, will I be okay? And I said it last night in my post, but I'm so proud that I chose myself, chose myself to get the job done, chose myself to continue to serve and support my family, chose myself to know that I can do this. And it's been the most rewarding year so far. I can't, like I said, it's unquestionably been the best decision for everything. It's given me more time and freedom to do this. Like we've just been going from strength to strength with the show. My marketing business that I run, strength to strength, the time that I get to invest with my family. And, it was a really big challenge for me to break that mentality last year, because it's that safety. It's the safety net that a lot of people don't want to leave when you do have full-time employment, and I totally get that.
The security.
Absolutely. Given like the cost of living today, which is absurd,
family.
Young family, everyone's trying to make ends meet.
Yes.
So when I said to not only family and friends or other colleagues that I was going to do this, the first thing everyone says is, you're crazy. Are you sure? And of course, crazy, maybe. Sure? Absolutely. And that's the thing. It was something inside of me that I could not ignore anymore. It sort of just became this screaming voice in my head.
So you overcame all the other voices.
That's right.
And listened to the most important voice, your own.
My own.
Very good.
Absolutely.
And look, there's been so many things I've had to overcome. And like, the people in the room that will be here tonight, everyone overcomes things on a daily basis.
Yeah.
But I think, one of the biggest things that you probably never overcome, but you learn to deal with, losing my dad at a young age, had to learn to deal with that. But I think probably more recently was probably my fertility journey, having to go through it.
Yep.
And then, eventually, thankfully, have my son, who's now 8. But just overcoming the fact that at one point, is this going to happen for me?
Yep.
And then secondly, no, you're probably not going to have any more, which, coming from a big family, all you want is for your kids to have siblings and whatever, but I have to stop myself and change the script, flip the script and go, you know what, there's people out there battling today that don't have any children and are still trying. So I got my little legend. So, you got to overcome these things, and here we are. And another thing that I really, really believe in is strength in numbers. So that's why I think tonight is important to hear people's stories, because listening when the episode comes out in a week or so, there might be someone else going through a particular thing that resonates with them that we've mentioned on the show. So strength in numbers is to know that, firstly, you'll get through it somehow. You will get through it, whatever the outcome. And thirdly, you're not the only one going through it.
Absolutely. I think that's
strength in numbers.
A lot of people can fall into that trap where you feel like you're the only one who's going through that circumstance, that situation, and the world is against you. But I promise you, if you talk to someone else, share your story, just as we try to share our stories on this show, and we get that feedback from you where people are like, that was me.
I know.
That's me. I get that. I hear that. I feel that. And that's what this is really about. about. So like Nance said, share your stories, listen to those around you, and hopefully we find a bit of connection and support in community.
That's right. And another reason to be just kind, not quick to judge people, because everyone has a story. Yep. And so for now, I think we should go glamour.
Okay, well, I don't know how long have you got? I need some time.
I need some time. Okay. So why don't we do one of those things that everyone does on Insta and come back hopefully looking a little bit...
Yeah, I love it. Ready?
Snazzier, right. Ready for the glitz
we'll
and glamour.
See you very, very soon.
For the G-Fresh longest table. Oh, see you soon.
Nance, what a transition.
Oh my goodness.
Through the magic of editing, we are here. We are fresh. We're ready.
Out of our tights, the beautiful Adelaides. Look at them. We've got Hayley over there. Oh, looking stunning. She's getting glittered up at the glitter bar. I think I'll head over very, very soon for that added touch of glamour. It looks absolutely fantastic in here. You can hear it is such a vibe. Guests are just starting to arrive and they are all looking absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. It's such a great reason to dress up. Great reason.
I'm surprised that I was half expecting you in fancy jeans tonight, Nance.
Me? Oh gosh, no. I'd rather sequins than jeans, to be fair.
Yeah, fair enough.
Absolutely love seeing any. We saw who was it over there?
Louise from Style Nest.
Yes. She was in her blacks today, just setting up, and look at her in those sequins. Everyone's shiny and gorgeous.
Absolutely.
Oh wow, Vince, we are here at the longest table event here at Sunnybray, and we have our first guest joining us, and it's such a buzz because I noticed her because she's looking absolutely stunning. She's been to the glitter bar, she's all glammed up, and now she's just telling me that we used to work together a million years ago. Jen, welcome to Livin'.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here, because today's topic is what have you had to overcome?
Yeah.
And you said you would be willing to jump on and share your story. So talk us through, Jen, what's going on?
Yeah, well, I have had lots to overcome and still overcoming. So I was actually diagnosed with breast cancer myself in 2022 at the age of 37 years old. I was diagnosed, again, cancer just doesn't discriminate because I was young, fit, healthy, so it was not on my radar at all. Yeah. So went through the whole finding a lump and getting it checked, went through many, many tests, and I suppose unfortunately for me, the cancer had spread. So I'm currently living with stage 4 cancer. So that means it's a lifetime of treatment. So overcoming, that's it. I still go out and want to enjoy my life and enjoy it with my friends and live life to the fullest. But that also doesn't mean that there aren't really dark and down times. And I think that's being realistic about life. I think, overcoming things in this situation is not always having to be positive and the happy person, and learning that it's okay to be vulnerable and sad, and it's really, really, shit. But it is.
Look, I'm really sorry to hear that, but I'm also grateful that you were willing to jump on, because it's people like you that help others that are going through the same journey think, you know what, I'm having such a shit day today, but you are a beaming light today of joy, and I didn't even know. Looking at you, I had no idea, and there's probably many people in the room tonight with the same sort of thing going on, but the fact that it just makes me stop and think and hit myself to go stop waking up and being in a shit mood some days. There's nothing to be upset about when you have your health. You've got so much to be grateful about, and the fact that you have to get up, like you said, every day, it's a daily battle, and you've still managed to be here tonight, have a smile on your face, and you know what? You are living life to the fullest. I can tell. What are your plans for the next, 6 months? Have you got anything you want to get out there and really enjoy and do?
Yes, well, it is my 40th this year.
Hey, happy birthday.
Amazing.
So planning on having a big party with friends, celebrating, enjoying. And I think just the little things as well this year, like making sure I live in Sydney now, so making making sure I come back to Adelaide, meet friends, get out and see other friends in Melbourne. So just ticking the boxes that, well, not ticking boxes, but making sure I'm, spending time with those quality time with the people I love.
Yep.
And being involved in things like this, which is so important because, exactly that. You look at me, I don't look sick, I look fine, and I honestly
you look
feel
gorgeous.
fine.
You look absolutely stunning.
But we need more research because there is still no cure for breast cancer. So it's events like this that help spread awareness, and people, for me, I just hope that there's more and more treatments available because that means, for me, it extends, my quality of life.
We've got Mark here joining us.
Hello.
Hi, Mark.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on. And all I said to you is, have you got a story of something you've had to overcome that you'd like to share with us? And you said, well, actually I do. And so here we are. What have you got for us, Mark?
Well, mine's been a bit of a journey for the last 10 years, overcoming depression and that sort of thing. So living with that, but not only living with that, overcoming it, learning to manage it. It's something that has kind of existed through the family, but it was never quite treated as such.
Yep.
So with all the wonderful things that we have available to us today, through the doctors, psychologists, but all of these wonderful apps like Mind Valley and all these sorts of things, that mindfulness and that whole thing is such a big thing at the moment.
Isn't it?
So really my thing sort of came about because I was not living an authentic life. So I had a job as a corporate banker, and I was partnered up with someone at the time who
Oh, yes, actually, it's coming back to me,
That's right. So I sort of life 2014 kind of imploded, and it was something that I'd never sought help for or had spoken to many people about. It was just sort of something you carried, but your body literally takes on all of that emotion, negative emotion. So it's been this sort of long journey from 2014 to now. It's from, the relationship ending to, quitting my corporate finance job to going into an industry that I absolutely love, which is music. I'm a full-time musician, producer and all that sort of thing. It's not without its, drawbacks or anything like. It's a tough industry.
Of course, it is.
The love of being around music, being around like-minded people, creatives and whatnot, just kind of helps drive and facilitate, the management of sort of what I have to deal with day in, day out. At the moment, I'm great. It's fine.
Yeah.
But it's sort of having to learn all of those sort of things about yourself to go, okay, what's working for me, what's not. Who in my life is working for me, who is supporting me, who's not, and working that sort of stuff out. Yeah.
Mark, one of the things that you mentioned there, I guess, is whether it be like almost generational. It happens in families. We come from a generation who did not talk so openly. And that's one of the things that we see. I work as a mindset coach and a personal coach as well.
Oh, well, there you
full
go.
time around being a producer and a creative myself. So everything you've said, I totally align with, and I hear that. And of course, so many people have been on that journey. When you mentioned that it's one of those things that has sort of been swept under the rug for so long, but then you realise you're not living that authentic life to yourself. For anyone out there who's listening, who might be in that position, what is it that made you, or what are the call signs for you that made you go, you know what, this is not aligning with me, this is not, I don't feel right internally, physically, mentally. How did it sort of manifest itself for you, and what were the signs that you started taking note of?
Well, I mean, at the time, not having any awareness of mindset or, having that sort of spiritual aspect of things, which I'm now more heavily involved in, it really is this discombobulation of your soul within you. You get up every morning feeling sick. You feel like you don't want to go
out
to
of
work.
Control?
Like
as in you can't control
absolutely.
yourself, your
literally
mind.
your mind ruminates, and it was kind of like this spinning wheel that just wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
And I literally mid-2014 I had to find the way to short circuit that, and that was with the help of doctors and whatnot, and the traditional way of dealing with depression. But soon after that, the exercise and all of those little things that you try to do to try and keep yourself up. It wasn't until I went travelling 2015, I quit my job after 13 years in corporate banking, and I went travelling Europe, 4 or 5 months spent over there. Did it mainly by myself. Had a bit of a stint with the family back in Italy, where we're from, and got to go back and see what it was like there. But really being on my own for all of that time, being with different people from different walks of life, and just having these conversations and putting myself in these situations that I would never have done before, and just getting a wider perspective on life and how people view life and what more there is than just the 9-to-5 grind or whatever it is that we've been brought up to believe is the only. Correct, that's exactly right.
I'm hearing some of this, and some of it's kind of going, I'm going, wow, for someone that's in that state of mind, and I've had my ups and downs 100% as well, but something that I'm like, I'm going, oh wow, I can't believe that you actually spent a lot of time by yourself, because everyone goes through it differently, but I find sometimes if I'm on my own too much when I'm down, so the fact that, so you're saying that helped you.
Well, it was some months from that mid-2014 point. It was probably about 8 or 9 months later that I did this. So I'd had some time to work in myself. Yes. The other thing was too, my brother had just moved to London 2015. When was it? March or April? Yeah. So I went to the UK. I had a bit of a home base. Obviously, I was missing him as well. Yeah. So I was going to the UK, spend some time with him, but then I'd go off and do my own travel and all of that sort of thing. And, I'd end up in places and villages where they didn't even speak the language, and I'm kind of just using body language and all that sort of thing. But you know what? I made some wonderful friends along the way as well, and those experiences that you carry with you for the rest of your life. And then I started to, that was the perspective change as well about what I was exactly valuing. The move away from the material, from having to have the big house and all of that sort of thing, and really getting down to the nuts and bolts of what's this life about and what actually really makes
you happy.
That's right.
That's
and
right.
It's hanging with your family, your friends, sharing a meal. For me, playing music and spending time being creative in the studio. They're the moments. My walk on the beach, where I'll run into Nancy every once in a while. We'll always cross paths. That sort of stuff, those little moments just, count for so much, as part of our life experience. So.
All right, so Mark, just quickly, we can hear the intro happening in the background here, but if you had any advice to give to someone that's maybe going to be listening to this podcast going, oh, this is how I feel right now. So what do you say to them? How would you suggest that they start getting themselves out of the rut? Anything that you can suggest to help someone?
If you've got a close friend or someone that you trust, start by talking with them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, seek some counselling or a psychologist, whatever you want to call it, just to take those initial steps. They're the hardest ones. Once you've made the decision to talk to someone, it's kind of like opening the floodgates, and you're unburdening yourself. And the good thing, and a lot of psychologists will say, is you unburden yourself. You pass that on to us, and we start to figure things out for you. It doesn't have to be a psychologist. Mindset coaches work just as well, and there is so much of that, and it's so great to see how prevalent it is now that, it's not such a taboo thing anymore. It's kind of like, is there an issue? Talk about it. We encourage you to talk about it. That's the main thing.
Guys, we are down here forking cancer on the longest table at Sunnyvale Estate. Thanks to Adelaide and G-Fresh Spices tonight. Nance, we've got guests galore.
Oh my gosh, we've got them lining up to come and join us here on the Live In podcast. Now, to my right, I have Fiona joining us, and I just want to have a little chat with Fiona. I said, hey Fiona, tonight's topic is, what have you had to overcome in your life, and are you willing to share something with us tonight? What have you got, Fiona?
Well, I guess, getting that question asked to me in the line it's a good question. What have I had to overcome? But I think the last 4 years has been a journey of overcoming, or I guess rediscovering myself in a way, having gone through a separation of being with my partner, my husband, for 20 years, and finding myself in a position where I had to earn money again after being home with children for 10 years and effectively putting my career on hold, and having to get myself back to a point where I can provide and pay a mortgage and pay bills and do extracurricular activities and
spend time with your kids somewhere in there.
Spend time with my kids and find all that balance. So really the last 4 years has been a real journey of, I guess, rediscovering my independence and reminding myself what I'm capable of doing, what I can do professionally, having sort of really put that on hold.
Yeah.
And I've been slowly building up my own business over the last probably 7 years and really dedicated the last few years to that and getting it to a point where it's a full-time business. So I guess it's been a big achievement, but I don't think it's something I would have been able to achieve previously if I hadn't been pushed into having to do it, if that makes sense.
Exactly right. And I'm sure there have been some really shitty days along the way, but 4 years on, you're doing well by the sounds of it.
There was a good couple years there where it was a real struggle. It was really hard, really, really hard. And struggling to, can I buy food this week type questions. And then, you know, I think it really took till this year to finally go, I'm doing this. I'm there, I'm feeling like I'm confident again, and I'm where I need to be professionally and personally, and
I commend all single mothers out there, because sometimes when you're having a tough day as a mum, you need, it helps to have someone else there to bounce off of. Or if you just need 5 minutes, they can go to your partner, their dad, or whoever it may be, and just give you a bit of, you know, rest and peace. But unfortunately, single mums,
it's hard. And there's not that other adult in the house to say, oh, there's a sick kid, can you look after this, you know, while I do there's not that option.
No.
So it's just all on you. There's no one else.
That's right. and God forbid if you're sick and they're sick at the same time, you've got to forget your own.
I think so. It was, I do remember a night I was putting my youngest to bed and there was a giant huntsman on his bedroom wall. And we were like, oh my God, we can't go to bed with this. And I sort of was like, it's me. I'm the one that has to deal with this. There is no one else.
Can't just burn the house down.
I cannot. We cannot evacuate. I was like, I got to deal with this. And we did, and it was fine. But it's just, it's a new, it's definitely had its positives from you know, we can do anything, right?
We can do anything, and it's an empowering position to be in. Like you said, learning to do those things for yourself again, rediscovering who you are as well. That's a very empowering journey for so many people.
I think it's really easy to lose yourself in a marriage, in a long-term relationship. It's really easy to lose it, especially if it started young, which I did.
Absolutely.
But look at you now. Obviously, you're a mum, a single mum, but you're out with your girlfriend. You're having a good time for a great cause.
Making friends tonight. That's what it's about. We're at the longest table. We're making friends with everybody. On my left over here, I have got Melissa. Hi, Melissa. Welcome to Live In Podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Now, Melissa, tonight we are talking about what have you overcome. That's what the topic is tonight. But I want to flip it a little bit because
what do we got?
Melissa's role is her day-to-day job is within the Research Foundation. Melissa, tell us a little bit about what your job entails and how you help those overcome maybe a cancer journey like so many are going through.
Well, my role at the Hospital Research Foundation Group is to match our major donors. So we have high net worth, we have private auxiliary funds, we have foundations. We match them with people that need their help and the research that's happening here in South Australia, which is amazing. There's so much amazing research happening right here. So that's what I do.
And we were talking a little bit before we started recording about the impact that the work has. Can you tell us what it's like to see that on the day-to-day or to work with the researchers?
When we get to go to events like this and hear the impact that these people are changing the world. Like some of the research that's happening is just groundbreaking. So it's amazing that the people that we're talking on a day-to-day basis, a lot of them have been, had prostate cancer, breast cancer. We talk to these people, and the reason they support the foundation is because they know someone close to them or they themselves have gone through this. So it's amazing that we can say to them 100% of what you give is going back to making your people like you and their lives better. So that's, it's a great job.
It must be incredibly rewarding.
It is very rewarding. Yeah, very lucky. Feel very grateful that I get to do what I do on a daily basis. Yeah.
And with your role there, you're helping so many people overcome on their journey. But tell us, have you overcome anything? What is something that you've overcome yourself?
Oh, it's so funny because I just met Fiona today and we have so many things in common. Obviously,
you guys, hang on a minute. Wait a minute. Light bulb moment, because I spotted you two in the line and I was like, these two look like fun besties. I need to go talk to them. And
She
you
said
just
that looked
met
like fun.
tonight.
Melissa and I just met tonight, and she actually said to me, there was a reason we were supposed to sit next to each other.
Yeah, she's in marketing and we have so many things in common. It's crazy. And I went through a divorce 7 years ago, and so
I love this story.
We're joined by another guest now, Johnny.
Hi,
Hello.
Johnny.
Welcome
Thanks for
to Live
joining
and
us.
Podcast.
Thanks for welcoming me on here. Looking forward to chatting to you.
Yeah.
Very
So
good night.
Tell me, what have you had to overcome, Johnny, in life, and how have you done it, perhaps?
Well, I used to be a very shy kid, so now talking in front of a mic, I never really loved doing in front of people or anything. Now,
No, it's part of your job, isn't it?
Part of my
I'm
job.
sure I recognise you around town.
Yes.
What do you do,
On the
Johnny?
mic?
Tell us, what do you do?
I do a lot of things in front of people. So I host a TV show on Channel 44, a soccer show. I commentate local soccer. I've MC'd in the sample, and also I've filled in for Adelaide United with Jared Walsh once as well. So
I remember that night.
So
He lost his voice, and I'm like, hang on, Jared sounds different.
Jared sounds
and
very
there
different.
you were.
I had the phone call and ran straight there. So,
Fantastic.
but doing it in front of 14,000 people that day as well was overcoming a massive fear of mine. So.
Amazing.
But now I
how,
love it.
How good? How good did it feel after?
Oh, I felt very good. I couldn't sleep all night. I literally had 2 hours sleep and
You'd be
woke
buzzed.
up. Yeah, very buzzed.
Absolutely.
The adrenaline.
It did.
How exciting.
But now I love it. It's good fun talking in front of people.
So, what have you got for any advice for any quiet people out there that think maybe public speaking is not their thing? What would you advise?
It probably isn't for everyone, but
No.
I think it's just understanding who you are, I think. So one of the key things I did was with Jared Walsh's workshop, and that really made me understand who I was and confident. I was not confident in myself with being a soccer fan. So then I ended up pursuing that. I knew that's who I was, and then, but I also not just soccer now. I'm involved in all sports and other events as well now. So I love it. It's good fun.
See, it's following that authentic calling inside of you.
Yeah.
Who are you?
And being open for change as well, because
Yes.
change is inevitable. So you've got to be open to it, I think.
And obviously doing the kind of thing that you do and even what we do, sometimes you're open to judgment, which sometimes you have to be a little bit thick-skinned to be able to handle that sort of stuff.
Exactly. I used to be worried about wearing a new jacket out to the shop, so now I'm here talking in front of you guys while there's hundreds of people sitting around watching us probably. But who cares?
Who cares? You're happy.
That's it.
We're happy. We're all smiling.
That's what it's about.
I'm just happy I'm on your podcast. It's good. I've done so many podcasts myself, but I've never actually been on...
You've never been a guest.
I don't think so. Not a proper guest, no. This is...
Not a proper guest.
No, I don't think so. I don't think I have.
I love
but,
that.
Not a podcast like this. This is great in front of an event.
Oh, thank
Perfect.
you so much. We have loved having you
Absolutely.
on Livin'. Get out there, enjoy your night, and we'll see you on the dance floor.
Definitely. Can't wait.
Nance, the longest table tonight. We should extend our
I
table.
was going to say, ours
It's a
is
little
quite
small.
short.
It's
But
a little small because there's a lot of room here that I would fill with some delicious, delicious treats. And if you are a fan of Living Podcast, and I know you are, you will know that at our first birthday, we had the most deluxe birthday
Yum,
cake.
yum, 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 yum,
Thanks
yum.
to this gorgeous woman who finally we get to have on the show, Teresa,
Hello.
from Lion's Den Cakes, no less. How are you?
I'm good and I love feeding people.
I love eating your cakes. It's specifically your cakes. I'm very lucky. I get to eat them every week. Nance hears me talk about them.
You are absolutely. And when we were talking about our cake for our first birthday, you were like, "Buh, buh," and I was like, oh, let me get a word in.
No.
You went straight to the source.
Straight to the source,
And
the
she
one and
delivered.
only, the best in the country, guys. Let me tell you, undeniable, undeniable. We've got Teresa here. We've also got Matt over here on your side. Hi, Matt.
Hello, Matt.
Hello, everybody.
Now, tonight we are talking about what have you had to overcome?
Yes.
That's the topic of our podcast today. So have any of you, who wants to go first? What's something that you'd like to talk about?
Sure.
Yeah, go for it.
Let's deep dive.
Okay, let's go.
I'm all about getting right in there, getting nice and gritty.
Okay.
And I think the hardest part is probably getting over yourself.
Yeah.
And I think
Love that.
it's whether you are, I don't know, training for something, whether you're learning for something, you're running a business, you just want to do something that you're achieving for or goals, I think you need to get out of your own way.
Yeah.
And you need to just believe in yourself. Don't listen to anyone.
The voice that you have inside is the biggest one, the most powerful one that you need to follow.
At the end of the day, it's that person inside of you, and it's that person at the end of your journey that is going to be cheering for you and is going to be standing up for yourself and going, you know what? Yeah, I did that.
And you get to thank yourself.
I know. And it's a hard journey. It's a really, really tough journey. Regardless of what you're doing, whatever journey you're going through, whether it's personal or political or business, it's hard. And you need to sometimes check yourself and look at your goals and just go, you know what, I'm doing this for a reason, and at the end of the day, I'm doing it for me, and I need to get out of my own way.
So important.
Oh my gosh, I absolutely love that. And you are living proof because you are going big guns with your cake business.
Well,
Lions Den. It is, come on.
I will admit, it is really hard not to eat the cake every day. It is, I am a professed sweet tooth, and I can't help it. Everybody asks me what my favourite flavour is every week, and it changes because I cannot help it. I am just nom 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 nom.
But you're in the best position because you can have the cake and eat it too.
Absolutely, I am living proof of that.
That is the best. And Matt, what have you got to share with us? What's something that you've had to overcome?
Look, it's pretty hard to top that response. That's pretty Oprah of the industry.
Very
right
good.
there.
Is there a prize under my chair? Is there a cake under my chair?
Surprise!
I probably, when you first asked, I probably would have said something along the lines of insecurities and things like that. Like I think, especially with what we do in this industry with events and things like that, is we're always comparing ourselves to other people and trying to measure up to what someone else is doing. And I would have said, you know, thinking about what you do and not feeling like confident in what you do, and that insecurity, that thought that creeps into the back of your head, is this good enough? Am I done enough? You know, is it good enough? Are they going to like it? Those sorts of things. That's a big one, and I think, like, even for me, with all of the events that we do every year, I definitely can say I find myself still comparing myself to other people and thinking, shit, is this enough? Like, is this what the client wants? Is it good enough? Have I met the needs? And I think that's an ongoing one, insecurity. And I don't know when that ends for some people. I feel like
I don't think it does.
No.
So we all need to overcome the fear of believing in ourselves. We all need to overcome
It's a bit like Jesus said, we just got to get over ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah, Matt makes a very good point.
Yeah.
We all are guilty of comparing each other and comparing ourselves, and I think that's our downfall.
I think so as well. But you know, one of the things that I love about, I mean, the industry that we work in, or say the three of us here, not to exclude you, Nance, but within, and you're in it as part of the event industry as well. I was going to say wedding industry, because that's one of the examples where we hear it year on year when we do celebrate. We come together at different awards or events and whatnot. But the thing I love, and I love having you both on this tonight, because like Matt, we cross over so much, but we never actually get a night together.
That's true.
So it's so good to chat with you tonight. Teresa, we cross over all the time. But you know what I love about it? I was going to say it's community over competition.
Yes,
and it is,
100%.
and even within that community, there are definitely days where we do fall into the trap of social media, and you can look at someone else's stories or whatever, and you go, oh, gee, they're doing great, and what am I doing? But when you've got that lens in front of you, it's very hard to really see how far you've come and the great work you're doing. So it's wonderful to have peers in the industry like yourselves who I know, for me, I'll say it, who I look up to and admire your work every week, and I get to be part of it, which is amazing. And then Teresa, I've loved watching Lions Den rise. I've loved eating and being part of that story for whatever crumb of it that I can take. But it's watching you guys do what you love, living your authentic lives. That's a recurring theme tonight, is listening to that voice inside of yourself and overcoming that fear to be authentically who you are.
Yeah. And I think a really good thing is, regardless of where you are in your journey, is take a moment. Take a moment and reflect and see how far you've come, whether it's a step or whether it's a mile, and really pat yourself on the back and go, you know what, I've really done that. And really relish in that, because that's going to take you to the next step.
100%. I love it. Oh, guys, if you want to know more as well, you can follow these guys on Instagram too.
Yes.
You can follow Venue Productions, and all of the wonderful things you've seen around the room tonight is Venue's styling and the draping. It's amazing. Lions Den cakes, of course. I'm sharing them all the time because they're the best. But guys, Teresa, Matt, thank you so much for coming on and having a chat today and sharing a little bit of what you've overcome.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for having us.
Nets, we have had a spectacular night down here at Sunnybray Estate as we come together at the longest table to fork cancer.
Yes.
We had beautiful, beautiful guests. Thank you to all of our guests who jumped on. We've talked about overcoming depression.
Yes.
Overcoming divorce, overcoming relocation.
Public speaking
Public
and
speaking.
shyness.
Yeah, like these are the stories that make our society. These are the stories that are happening every day.
Absolutely. And what I think is, what I love about our platform is the fact that it might just be someone out there listening that might be going through something similar or exactly the same thing. And to see our guests on here tonight at the other end that have come through the other end and gone, you know what, they did it. It wasn't easy, but they did it.
Absolutely. You know what? Sometimes the hardest things are the most rewarding as well.
But the key message I think that came through a lot tonight is to talk to people.
Yeah, like
Talk.
Talk as much as you can. Talk about your feelings. Write them down. Say it out loud.
Yeah.
If not to someone you know, say it to a stranger, and you never know what you might find.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it's the hardest thing, but let's do it. Let's all talk a little bit more.
But for now, I think Dance Electric are about to hit the dance floor, and they are debuting their group tonight, which I'm very, very excited about. So let's jump out there and have some fun.
I'm ready.
Thank you very much, Adelaide. Thank you, G Fresh. Thank you, Sunny Bray. Thank you, everyone, for having us here tonight. This is Livin'.
We'll see you next week.
Because your mama always said